America is now spending over $1 trillion every single year on something that produces absolutely nothing. Not roads, not schools, not hospitals, just interest. Think about that. The richest country in the world is paying over $1 trillion a year simply because of money it already borrowed. And here's the crazy part. Most people haven't noticed, because while everyone is watching AI stocks, Bitcoin, and the latest market rally, America is quietly drowning in debt. The question is, how bad is it really? And what happens if the bill finally comes due? Let's start with a number. America's national debt has crossed $37 trillion. That's not a typo. $37 trillion. Back in 2000, U.S. debt was around $5.7 trillion. Today, it's more than 6 times larger. So, what happened? Well, every crisis added another layer. The dot-com crash, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the 2008 financial crisis, the pandemic. Every time the economy faced trouble, the government borrowed more money. And to be fair, sometimes borrowing made sense. The problem is that debt kept growing even after emergencies ended. It's like using a credit card during a storm. Reasonable at first, but 20 years later, you're still adding purchases to the same card. Eventually, the balance becomes impossible to ignore. Here's where things get interesting. Debt itself isn't the villain. Interest is. For years, America got lucky. Interest rates stayed near zero. Borrowing money was incredibly cheap. The government could borrow trillions and barely feel the pain. Then inflation showed up. The Federal Reserve raised rates aggressively. Suddenly new debt became much more expensive. Imagine having a mortgage at 3%. Now imagine refinancing it at 7%. That's painful. Now imagine doing it with trillions of dollars. That's exactly what's happening. Today, annual interest payments have climbed above $1 trillion. That's more than America spends on many major government programs. And every dollar spent on interest is a dollar that can't be spent somewhere else. There are really 2 possible paths. The optimistic path is simple. The economy grows. Productivity rises. New technologies like AI boost output. America grows its way out of the problem. That's happened before. But there's another possibility. Debt keeps growing faster than economic growth. Interest payments keep rising, and future governments face difficult choices. Higher taxes, lower spending, more borrowing, or higher inflation. None of those options are particularly popular, which is why this debate isn't going away anytime soon. So, is America doomed? No. Is the debt completely harmless? Also, no. The truth lives somewhere in the middle. America isn't collapsing tomorrow, but debt isn't free money either. Every dollar borrowed today creates an obligation tomorrow. And history shows that eventually every nation has to deal with that reality. The biggest lesson isn't that America owes $37 trillion. It's that debt works exactly like gravity. You can ignore it for a while, but eventually, it matters. And that's why smart investors don't bet on headlines. They pay attention to trends, because the future belongs not to the people who predict perfectly, but to the people who are prepared when nobody else is.